Apparently, she lived in Mystic Falls with her mother, I think, and her mother's deceased. And now that her father died, she's moved back to Mystic Falls. I guess to live there with who, I have no idea, probably other family members. And she's there for the funeral. So they kind of have a little chit chat. And apparently, Elena used to babysit her, which is kind of weird because she doesn't look that much older than Jeremy. And I think Elena and Jeremy are only, what, 2 years apart at most? Well, but hey, I'm just a casual observer. They have a little casual conversation and she goes off to register for classes. Right around this time, Stefan finds out about Stefan and Elena find out about the council member's house being blown. And Elena goes to speak with Damon and is like, did you have anything to do with this? Because this is just blame everything on Damon Day, right? Yeah. Anytime something bad happens, it must have something to do with Damon, right? Right. While this is going on, Tyler goes to the Salvatore house to get help because he needs someone to pull the bullets out. Stefan pulls the bullets out, and when he goes to touch him, he gets burnt. So, good possibility that they're steeped in vervain. He notices, after he looks at them a little more closely, that they have a symbol on them, some kind of sigil of some sort. He's not sure where it comes from, but he decides to go and ask Bonnie for help. Maybe she might know, maybe she might recognize the symbols as being from the grimoire. Maybe they're witches' writing. What Stefan does know is that they are specially designed, custom-made bullets, and if Tyler wasn't a hybrid and just a regular vampire, he would have been killed instantly. So this guy obviously knows what he's doing. Stefan goes to visit Bonnie, and Bonnie looks like, well, 10 bucket loads of crap. But it's understandable because she's kind of shut herself away from the world after watching what happened to her grandmother in the spirit realm. It's very difficult for her. She's having a hard time emotionally. She's depressed, and everyone else has everything else going on in their lives, and no one seems to give a crap about Bonnie. And then after everything she's already done for them. I don't mind Bonnie, but like some other fans, I'm starting to wonder if her place is there simply to help the vampires whenever they need it. She doesn't really have a purpose anymore. I feel bad because she could be a really great character, but they're kind of making her useless. So Stefan tries to give her some comfort, and she takes it, which is weird because she usually doesn't like to let the vampires touch her. At least not doing anyway, but she knows that Stefan means it. And she tells him that she feels like every time she closes her eyes, she can see her grandmother dying in the spirit realm over and over. And she tried a simple nature spell for cleansing, and it didn't work right. So obviously the dead witch spirits are punishing her by not only making her witness her grandmother's soul death, but screwing up her magic too. In the midst of all this, he shows her the bullets to see if she recognizes it. She doesn't. She can definitely tell him that it's not from the grimoire. So he's back to square one. Meanwhile, back at the grill, Elaine and Damon are still talking. He says, "No, I did not have anything to do with killing the council. Why does everyone seem to think that when something bad goes down that it has to do with me?" But,
Mommy, Ada gave me my book and my pen back.
More importantly, he begins to notice that she looks very extremely pale. And he's not so sure that she's been feeding properly. And while she's there, she she cottons on to the fact that she tells him that she's been having problems. That even though Stefan's been trying to get her to go on this bunny diet, she hasn't been able to keep anything down. And she's too afraid to tell him because she doesn't want him to be disappointed or upset. Really? Oh my God, because Stefan's feelings matter so much. Because Stefan's feelings matter more than yours, right? What the hell? This is your life. Come on now. So Damon tells her, well, that means you need to feed from something warmer from the vein. You look around you, you've got Asian fusion over there, you got Mexican back there, or if you want some, or over there, you got some good old American comfort food. And when she realizes that he's talking about feeding from humans, she's like, no, I don't want to hurt anybody. But, Damon would never let her. But she's had it so ingrained in her mind by Stefan that feed from humans bad. Yeah, bad for him because he'd go ripper crazy, but not necessarily bad for her. So he drags her into the bathroom, and then I'm gonna smile because this was an awesome scene. He locks the bathroom door and bites his hand and offers her his blood and says, look, you need to feed, you're starving. Hopefully this will do the trick. Just don't tell Stefan. She's like, why? Because sharing blood, it's kind of intimate. And it is. For vampires, it's like sex. Only more. And obviously she can't resist because she's starving that badly. And she starts to feed off of him. And it gets really awesome after that. Damon kind of just falls into her and they kind of fall into each other. They back each other up against the bathroom stall. It's really kind of awesome. It's like a minute of awesomeness. A lot of fans are like, well, he only did this because he was being a dick and because he wanted to get the sensation. I don't really think that. I'm sure that he obviously wasn't complaining. He was enjoying it, obviously, but there was this like dual look on his face where in one way he was enjoying it, but in another, I think it hurts him to see her suffer. He never wanted this for her. Now that he really understands why she was so adamant on staying human, he never wanted this for her. And he's doing everything he can to make this transition as painless as possible. Whereas Stefan is making it just abysmally more painful at every turn. So yeah, she feeds from him, and I'm sure in his heart he was doing it because he knew that she needed it. Not that he didn't, intrinsically benefit from the feeling. But anyway, she seems to be okay, and then scene switches over to the church where everybody's preparing for the memorial service. And Elena sits down to talk with April. April's there trying to write the eulogy for her father, but she doesn't know what to say. Apparently she's not really all about the whole death thing. So she seems remarkably unaffected for someone whose father just died, which leads me to believe that I'm guessing that she probably didn't live there. She lived with her mother in a different town or a different city or something. And she probably didn't see her father all that often. So maybe she didn't have much of a relationship with him. I mean, she's obviously sad that he died. I can tell that it affects her in that way, and that she is grieving. But most people whose parents die, they grieve a little bit more than that. But she is kind of upset because she doesn't know what to say. And she feels like she's going to look like a moron up in front of all these people and do a disservice to her father's good name. So Elena tries to give her some comfort because she understands how it feels to lose your parents and you feel like you're alone in the world. And they seem to kind of connect. And sorry, I'm looking at the blog. They seem to connect for a moment, and this is another point where I feel like she might have some kind of empathic connection with people because the girl started getting really upset about the eulogy and losing her father, and she was starting to cry. And I feel like Elena is sensing that and taking that in, and she can feel all of it, and it contributes to when her stomach starts to roil and she splits and goes in the bathroom and just completely upchucks everywhere in the toilet, in the sink, all of herself. And yeah, it's really, really disgusting. I wonder if she would have reacted that way if she hadn't been feeling somebody else's emotional turmoil. But I'm probably wrong. She probably would have reacted that way regardless, but just a thought. So, place is a mess, and she's frantically trying to clean it up. Oh my god, there's blood everywhere, and she has no one else to call. She knows if she calls Stefan, would be letting the cat out of the bag, so she calls Damon, and she begs him to come over to the church and bring her a new dress to wear, and do it quick because she's covered in blood, and she doesn't want to get found. So while she's in there cleaning up all the blood, Connor Jordan apparently has followed them, or followed her, down to the bathroom, which is in the basement, and starts wiggling the doorknob trying to get in. And she's like, "There's somebody in here." So he's sitting there on the little chaise lounge right there, right outside the bathroom door, which is kind of creepy. I don't know about you, but that's kind of creepy. Damon arrives with the dress and knocks on the door, gives her the dress, and she's like, "Sorry, spilled coffee. I'm such a klutz. It's been such a crazy day." And she goes back in to change. Connor gets up to introduce himself with the glove. I think that's his, like, "Are you a vampire?" test. If you touch the glove and it's got vervain, and you hurt, obviously, you're a vampire and I should kill you. But Damon, smart, already knew that there was vervain in the gloves, and he's like, "Sorry, germaphobe." And they continue to have a little bit of meaningless small talk, and then they leave. Elena and Damon leave and go back up to the main part of the church where the memorial starts. And while this is happening, Connor goes back up and sees April, grabs her and guts her with a knife up in the higher pews of the church, like up in the rafters. Keeps her bound and gagged up there so she can't move. Not that she could anyway, considering she's been stabbed in the gut. His theory is that she will bleed out enough that the smell will affect the vampires and they'll out themselves by going after the blood. So everyone's sitting there. Elena literally looks like she's about to either topple over and desiccate on the spot or attack everybody in that room because she needs blood that badly. Like, she can't barely even walk. They're waiting for April to come and do the eulogy, but she's not there. So Elena gets up to say a few words, and that's when they start smelling the blood. Elena smells it almost immediately because she's so hungry. And then everyone else, the other vampires, Stefan, Damon, Caroline, Tyler, they all cotton onto it, and they smell it, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's probably April. He's here." Damon tells them all, "Don't move, don't anybody move, sit still, because if we do make any false moves, it's going to shoot up the whole place." I don't know what exactly he was doing. What I don't get is that gun cocking was pretty freaking loud. How in the hell is nobody hearing it? I guess it's a Hollywood thing. Elena looks literally like she's about to topple over. And Stefan goes up there and takes a hold of her and brings her back down to the pew so she can sit down. Tyler comes up to say a few words, and while he's talking, the bastard shoots him again. This time, I think, with a stake. Damon's at the point where he's like, "You know what? If you don't do something right now, 3, 2, 1, and I'm gone, I'm going to kill him." And Caroline will probably be not too far after now that her boyfriend's been shot twice. But Stefan tells Damon to stay because Lana needs him there. This is before, Tyler gets shot. As Tyler's walking up there to start saying his words, they realize that